Everyone, so this is my Boutofbooks 12.0 wrap-up. I am overall very happy with the results. I have read a total of 1069 pages, out of which 408 were graphic novel pages. I'm very happy with the number of books that I have read. I started reading by finishing these two small comics, and I'm very happy and funny about them. This is something that uplifted me, um, and it's something that I will go to when I want to cheer up. And this was a very funny read, and they are both free to read from the artist's website, which I will leave down below. They're very short, but I suggest you read them. They leave you in a better mood, basically. And then I picked up and finished Jumper Genie by L.J. Baker. I am super happy to have finished this book. It's amazing, it's funny, and I will do a full-on review on the library and also on a video, so check that out because otherwise this video will be too long. But it was really funny and adventurous. Yeah, basically I'm just really glad to have read it. And then I started and finished, well, not started, I had already started it, but I finished Gracelink by Christine Cashore, and wow, like, this book wasn't that queer. um, I knew there would be hints, and that in Bitter Blue there will be more hints, but this, despite that, was very good. I think that Poe and Katza have a very good understanding and mutually respectful relationship. Plus, I find this book to be very feministic. Um, sort of, she doesn't want to be tied down, and Poe understands that because of all the things in this world, that women, especially wives and daughters, are considered to be possessions, and she doesn't want that, but she also wants to be with Poe, and Poe understands this, and he gives her, actually, he understands her freedom. He doesn't give her, it's not his to give, but he leaves her to her freedom, and she loves him and he loves her, and that's really good. Plus, it's mostly based on adventure. It's not a romance. I pick up the second and the third book in the trilogy, but for now maybe I should stick to books that I actually own. Then actually I had started in between all these things to read Irish fairy tales edited by Joseph Jacobs. I only have four um, stories left, and basically I stopped because I was falling asleep, and I discovered that reading these type of short stories is better that I read them in the morning when I have a lot of energy. When you have different stories, you have to get used to different words in one book, and you have to get used to each story, and the language was different and it was archaic both in its structure and its vocabulary. Plus, like, talking about women as possessions, my god, like, does everyone want to marry the daughter of Erin, aka Ireland? Why? And will give his daughter's hand in marriage too? My god, I know that they're old, but they piss me off so much, really. My favorite stories were King O'Toole and his goose, Jack and his comrades, um, The Fate of the Children of Lear, which I have been meaning to read for a while, and The Legend of Nod Grafton. If you want to read the Cinderella version of Irish legends, it's Fair, Brown and Trembling, that's the name, you can check that out. Then I actually finished something that I had started ages ago, and that's The Princess Affair by Nell Stark. In romance, it was actually really good. It wasn't that tacky. I had some problems with some things in it, but for someone that doesn't really like romance, or at least cliched romance, I found this to be a pretty good reading, really. So I suggest that if you're into lesbian romance, you give this book a try. And yeah, overall, I'm glad that I finished this. Then I actually read two things that were not on my list, so it's probably why I didn't finish Irish Fairy Tales. I was feeling the need of reading manga online. I discovered a good one shot, although it's two volumes, it's really just one because it's so short. Shoujo ai manga called Prism, and it's about these two girls, and one of them was in love with this boy when she was in grade school, but it turns out when she's in high school now that this boy was actually a girl, and they are friends, and then there are feelings. And I thought it was a really nice and refreshing read when they are discovering things together. They are being supported, and it was a really funny read as well. So I suggest if you're into manga, and especially if you're into shoujai, you check it out because it's definitely worth a read. Then I was browsing comics, and I skimmed through the first comic of Gotham City Sirens, and I thought, okay, I will read this after I read it in. But then I was like, okay, maybe I should read it now. And then I checked the first volume out, and it contained issue 1 to issue 7. So I read from 1 to 7, which is why I was tired when I was reading Irish Fairy Tales then. But it was really good, you know. It's about Catwoman, or Selena, and she joins forces with Poison Ivy and Harley, who are trying to be good and not commit any crimes, and they live together, and it's so funny. It's less sexualized, of course, it still is, being comics, unfortunately, but it's less than I thought it would be, and it was pretty funny. So I will definitely read the whole series. It's complete, so I don't have to wait for any more issues, really. And then, of course, I also read Batman, Zero Year Issue 24, Dark City Part 1. I really like this series. It's my favorite Batman series, and I think, especially the colors and the story, are pretty. Like the art style, it describes Gotham so well. It's dark, but there are bright colors, and as Bruce said in this comic, there is hope in Gotham, hope for a better life for its residents, and that's why people stay there. And I really like this. I unfortunately I don't own part 2. Overall, I'm really happy with my week so far. I will finish these 4 stories so I don't drag and like I usually do, and not finish the books I have started, but I will also read The Witches of Echo Park by Amber Benson, which arrived on the second day of the readathon, and I really wanted to read it, but I knew that if I started this, I would not read the others. And I will later on this month start Affinity by Sarah Waters, which I will be reading with Wolf's Whistle. And yeah, that's it for now, and hopefully I will see you another time. Bye!